Good evening, Internet. Hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. Welcome to Schrödinger's chat room, episode 5. It is Friday, July the 24th, and we have our first long-form show for you during lockdown with a guest speaker coming up in a few moments. We will introduce you. And already the technical problems have begun, so bear with me a second while I turn on my speaker. Okay, right. So that's the first technical problem of the evening. Hopefully that gremlin has gone away. So we're going to quickly introduce our cast for this evening. So if my players would like to come on screen, please, and we will say hello. And we have Wei Zhu, live from Reading.
Hello.
From Palm Springs, California, we have Tess, live from Reading, Alex McWilliam, and also from Reading, John Duke, and live from Maidenhead is Nick Brooks. And a quick pop-up for our guest speaker this evening, Andrew, who's coming in from Cambourne in Cambridgeshire. Okay, so if everyone would like to turn your videos off, and we will head into a quick warm-up game. We're going to be playing a game called Torture, and I'm just mumbling here because I've just realized I've got to turn something else on the settings, but there we go. So for this first game, what I'm going to do is I'm going to direct the action on screen, and we're going to have people coming on in twos, and I will impose upon them a restriction that they must stick with for the duration of the scene. If there's any messing up, I will cut them off. They sit out the rest of the game, and we're going to work our way through until everyone's had a chance to play. And what we're going to do is come up with a series of scenes based in a generic location where lots of people might meet. And let's try and keep on contemporary on message at the moment. So we are in a socially distanced beer garden with a bunch of people who haven't seen each other from before lockdown. So what I'd like to have is get the first two characters up, and I'm just being told I'm not sure if we are actually live streaming. So it doesn't look like we are, if I'm honest. Okay, so yeah, I've got the YouTube. Okay, sorry about this. I think I've done all of that. We haven't actually gone anywhere.
Is it because it's either hasn't been clicked?
Right, let me try that again.
It says waiting for it to start.
Okay, no, it's actually showing live on YouTube. I can see it on my YouTube channel. So bear with me, viewers, if you are watching this. I'm trying to see what is going on at home here.
Oh, it might be me and John.
Yep, no, there is actually a live stream, but it is possible that the one you're looking at isn't quite the same. So I just want to quickly just get some independent verification from anybody. Yep, okay. I have had somebody from the internet tell me that we are live and on stream. So thank you very much, Sarah, for that confirmation. Sarah is our super fan dialing in from Yateley there. Okay, so we're going to start with our first game. And so we're in our socially distanced beer garden, and we're going to have first two players who come on can be in this one. And can we get two players on the screen, please? And if it's quite possible that I have got them. Now I need to figure out the setting, which someone might need to tell me, where I'm only just going to show hide non-video participants. Could somebody tell me where that might be?
Video settings next to your stop video in the lower left-hand corner of your screen.
There we go.
We go through to video settings. In there you find a tiny little box. You can check hide non-video participants.
Right.
For all of you at home.
Sorry about these guys.
How to hide your non-video participants in a Zoom chat.
I got it. Got it. Okay. That's better.
I'm full of cereal.
Okay, I think that's helped with the first piece. Right, so we have our first two actors on the screen, and the first restriction for you two is you've not met since before lockdown, and you are speaking in questions only. Away we go.
So what have you been up to, locked inside all day?
Isn't it obvious, Janine?
Have you been learning to cook?
Can you tell?
What was your favorite dish that you made?
Is chicken chow mein too experimental for you?
What did you put in it?
Is it supposed to have avocados?
Where did you find avocados?
Don't you know the avocado man?
Aren't they like £30 a piece?
Don't you know I have a lot of money?
Are you a secret millionaire?
What makes you think that?
Meanwhile, in another part of the beer garden, we have a French and a German friend who haven't seen each other for quite some time.
Bonjour, ça va?
Oh, Cecile, where have you been all this time?
Où est une part of Germany, s'il vous plaît, you from, s'il vous plaît?
Ah, the Black Forest. Yes, forest, black.
You mean the Noir Le Forest?
Well, for a French person like you, I guess you might say so.
You've got a particular accent there. Can you explain a bit more detail for me?
My mother and my father, they were outcasts even in Germany. And
I'm not going to delve too deep the reason why, because that could be quite awkward.
Meanwhile, two secret agents who think they're there to meet each other.
The dandelion looks particularly good this season.
Are you having the Belgian white?
Does the Belgian white come with a particular bouquet?
It's apricot with hints of rose. Is our French friend buying?
Meanwhile, it's Ian McKellen and Alan Rickman.
Okay. So, Ian, long time no see.
Really? Why?
I've always wanted you for a drink.
Alan, I'm okay, but if you're around.
Obviously, it is my round, always is, Sir Ian McKellen.
You don't have to use my full name every time, Alan Rickman.
I will always use your full name because it has to be done.
And in our last scene, I have two actors on before I tell you what you're doing. You two are going to be mimic each other exactly. Copy exactly what the other people are doing and sound the same.
Oh! What a wonderful time of year it is.
It is. I do love a good summer wine.
Yes, but it makes my head ache.
Oh, we have to suffer the consequences.
We do have to suffer the consequences.
Like, I just had a potato gratin and I'm lactose intolerant.
You're lactose intolerant?
Oh, yeah, I am.
Me too.
Oh, you know what it's like.
I do know what it's like. It gives me the shits.
That it does.
And that we'll end it there on a high note. Thank you, guys. Okay, so that's us warmed up, and in the waiting in the wings, we have our guest speaker for the evening. And Andrew, would you like to come on screen, please? I'll do a quick intro. And we have Andrew Holding, who is a academic at the University of York, where he is a lecturer in biomedical science. I won't go into the details of your specialist area because I'm sure that will come through during the talk. But the subject of Andrew's talk is why limes don't cure scurvy, but everything else did. And just so you know, none of the players have seen or heard this talk before. As soon as Andrew's finished, we will attempt to make a story from the themes and content of Andrew's talk. So Andrew, you have about 10 minutes. I will leave you to it. Good luck.
Thank you. So I will just share some slides here to give us some visual content. So this is my talk. Thank you for that great introduction. My focus these days is actually on other things, but I am in the biomedical world. And when I discovered this story, I found it fascinating and have tried to tell every single person I meet about it. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to tell even more people about why limes didn't cure scurvy and everything else does. So what is scurvy? I presume most of our listeners haven't had it recently. It's not something people get today. There was a case not too long ago where a student lived off pot noodles solidly, and he did get scurvy, and it did confuse all the doctors for a while. But if you're not a person living solely on pot noodles, this is what Captain Robert Falcon Scott was said you would experience if you tried that. So the symptoms of scurvy do not necessarily occur in a regular order, but generally the first sign is an inflamed, swollen condition of the gums. The whitish pink tinge next to the teeth is replaced by an angry red, and the disease gains ground. As the disease gains ground, the gums become more spongy and turn to a purplish colour. The teeth become loose and the gums sore. Spots appear on the legs and pain is felt in old wounds and bruises. Later, from a slight edema, the legs and then the arms swell to a great size and become blackened behind the joints. After this, the patient is soon incapacitated and the last horrible diseases of the disease set in, from which death is a merciful release. So he was a real fun guy to have at parties. So this was written when Captain Robert Falcon Scott was talking about how he was going to the Antarctic to find the South Pole, which famously he got there second and died. But we don't have time to go into the whole of that, but fundamentally he still kind of did quite well, actually. It's quite a hard thing to do. But he was terrified of this. And this really surprises me and surprised a lot of people because 100 years earlier, limes had cured scurvy. So why was he obsessed with this disease? And why did he have to write horrible things in books about it? Well, the reason why people were obsessed in a time of sail, so if we go back a bit earlier, before all those limes experiments and stuff, was this. In the 7 Years' War, there were 185,000 sailors died. And of that, 1,500 died in combat. So it's 185,000 people die, 1,500 die in combat. So over, what was that, 100 times the number of people actually die from things that aren't the war. And 134,000 of them were scurvy. So most of the people were dying of scurvy. Then there's all the other things that kill you. Then there's the actual trying to actually kill people, killing people. So what this kind of puts you in a situation where you do wonder why anyone bothered to go to war in this period when people probably just died on the trip to you. But nonetheless, we kept doing this and we kept having these European naval battles and people kept dying. And crews would often come back like with 90% of the people dead. So people realized this was an issue. And then things happen that made people think that maybe we should do something about it. And the story I'm going to tell you today, because I love it, is about this guy, Sir George Anson. And the reason we have to talk about him is if you need to find an influential person in British history, you generally have to go and find a rich white guy, because that's just British history for you. So annoyingly, it's another one of those stories, but we get to laugh at him, so it's fine. What he did is he got asked to take some ships to South America and basically dick on the Spanish, because someone had previously done quite well against the Spanish and they were actually retreating at the time, and they thought, oh, we could do the same again, it'd be really good. And what they did was they gave him 7 ships and troops and stuff, and he said, I need a militia, I need 500 people. And that's quite a reasonable thing to ask. You're trying to, declare war on a continent, and he asked 500 people, and the British, in their great leadership, said, well, we can't find you actually a militia, but we can get you 500 Chelsea pensioners. Which, yeah, if you know what a Chelsea pension is, because you watch like TV when you're stuck at home, they're not renowned for being fit, healthy militia. In fact, actually, in this time period, they were so bad. This is what the chaplain wrote about the people who turned up. All who had limbs and strength to walk out of Portsmouth deserted, leaving behind them only such as were literally invalids, most of them being 60 years of age and some would upwards of 70. So we've just said that like 90% of crews died, and we're saying a bunch of 70-year-olds should be the military. So it's not going well for this guy. It's also notable that the ones who had legs left, so it was literally the ones without legs at this point. So basically he had a militia made up of people missing limbs, no state healthcare, and being 70-year-olds in a period where the average age of death was probably about 5. So it wasn't going well from the start. He then set off his journey. He goes down the coast of South America, doesn't achieve much because he's got a rubbish fleet. He eventually tries to go around the Cape. Of his 5 ships, 2 turn back because of the weather. They actually deserted, but they're not stupid enough to admit to that because they get shot, and they head around, and then they get lost. So they spend quite a lot of time at sea, lots of people dying from scurvy. The Spanish assume they're all dead, and eventually he ends up on one of the little islands on the far side of South America. The good thing is the Spanish were actually waiting there for him, but because he took so long because he got lost, they head off, and he's fine. The reason he got so lost was because in this time period they didn't have clocks, and once you know how north-south you are, because the stars stay roughly in the same place, because the Earth annoyingly turns east and west depending on time, he didn't know how east and west he was. Anyway, one of the ships is ruined. He has luckily enough people have died at this point. He can get all the people onto the last 2 ships, heads up the other side of the South America, and it still goes pretty awful. So he eventually accepts, I'm going to have to do something, and he decides to go across the Pacific because the Cape was so bad and so many people are dead, they're all ill, it's all awful, and they decide to go across the Pacific because it's a little bit quieter. And as they go across, a few things happened. One of their boats, the sea anchor, gets stuck down. I don't actually still know what sea anchor is. I've made a thing not to ask too many questions, but I think it is something that stops your boat from going forward, so I presume that was bad. And they sort that out, and then they keep going, and then their mast falls off one of the boats. And again, I try not to get too into the sailing stuff here, but I've heard that masts are important for boats going forward. So eventually that boat apparently has to be got rid of. And then the other boat's leaking so badly, even Sir Lord George Anson, privileged guy himself, is on the pumps. And eventually they end up at this island Tinian near Guam. The reason they don't go to Guam is it's Spanish, and the Spanish will put them in jail, and they're rot in a Spanish jail, so they don't like that. They actually find a Spaniard on this other island, but he was left there by the Spanish to guard it, and he's been left there for so long, he's really given up any hope of anyone caring about him and just can't be bothered to even talk to British people. So they're fine on that front. They're now down to the point they've only got 1 ship, but so many people have died from scurvy that they're actually like, well, that's fine, we've got quite a bit of space, actually. And they're sitting there, and they start to try and repair the boat they do have. They burn the other one so the Spanish can't get it, and they leave a skeleton crew on it, and it gets washed out to sea for 19 days. So they're sitting there going, what are we going to do? It's never going to come back. Fortunately, it does, let's say after 19 days, but in that time, they had decided to build their own boat out of presumably palm trees, and were planning to try and sail to China on that, because that was better than trying to sail to the Spanish. Anyway, they all rejoice when their boat comes back in, however it came. The people on it didn't really know what they're doing either. And they set off for China. And in China, he has to accept that this is actually a disaster. Most of his people are dead, but that's useful because most of his boats are missing. They're all ill. At least in China, they get some food, and then they have to decide what to do. And what he decides, and this is why he becomes so important, is he decides to head off and try and catch a Manila galleon. So the Portuguese gold-carrying galleons. So this is a live action shot of what happened. Yeah, it was dramatic. What actually happened? So they waited at night, and they lowered the sails, got the guns out, got everything ready, cannons ready. And as the Portuguese galleon came near, they let loose with all their cannons. And they absolutely devastated the Portuguese ship. They had no idea this was going to happen. And they then boarded, and basically the books tell you that there were bits of people everywhere. It was like horrible meat mess. And the Portuguese just weren't ready. The only cannons they had on deck were these things called swivel cannons. Now, swivel cannons, I later found out, only point inwards. And the reason they only point inwards is because apparently that's the people you want to shoot at. Not very good at shooting British coming up, attacking you, very good at stopping mutinies. So there you go, wrong priorities in my mind. Anyway, this scored them 1.3 million pieces of 8, which are like massive lumps of gold. So he tows this back to China, and China at the time had rules against piracy, and they didn't really like us. So they said, well, no, you're not coming here. Eventually he found a port, which wasn't Canton, that he could bribe his way in, because it's quite obvious when you're towing a much better ship than your own that you probably shouldn't have had that. And they sell the Portuguese galleon, they take all the money so no one knows who they are, and head back to Britain. And this is really important because he comes home and he's now super wealthy. His crew's actually pretty wealthy too, though that ends up in a legal case and he tries to screw them. But because there's not many of them left and they got lots of money, the kind of trickle down economics actually work. And he goes like, scurvy's a bad thing because lots of my men died from scurvy. And, you know, people go, he's curd Lord Sir Anson, we should listen to him. So they do. And this has a big impact. And one of the key things is, and there's like several people, but keeping the shorter version, is it impacts on James Lind, who is a physician. And he's quite famous. And he was taught, as people were taught at the time, so he was taught about the four humours. So this is what Hippocrates said. The body of man has in itself blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. These make up the nature of his body, and through these he feels pain or enjoys health, which is complete and utter crap. But this is what they taught. To make it clear, bloodletting does sometimes work. Phlegm, yeah, that's pretty manky. No one's actually found black bile, and yellow bile is generally just linked to cowardice in cowboy movies. So he was doing quite well to get rid of it, and he did was basically said to be one of the first scientific experiments. It's not, but it's one of. And he did this clinical trial, and that's the key thing. It's a medical clinical trial. And he had 12 crew members get sick, didn't have to fill out any ethics paperwork, so just experimented on them. And he gave 6 cures from the time. And the 6 he gave were, well, so he had an N of 2 experiment people each. He gave cider, doesn't work, but, you know, if you're going to die, get drunk. Vinegar, doesn't work, just sucks. Seawater, there's lots of it around, give them that. Elixir of vitriol, that was from the College of London. For people who don't know what that is, that's battery acid. That tastes disgusting and just kills you. And then he tried lemons. And then of these 12 people, one guy got better and he was on the lemons. And that led to him saying that, lemons cure scurvy, which was this big thing. And he wrote this treatise of scurvy. And then, so this is 1747. But in 1803, after a lot of politics and people like George Anson and people getting involved, eventually the British start using lemons on all their ships. And that leads to the British winning the Napoleonic Wars, which makes this a really big thing. And this is because basically the people delivering lemons to the British were dying on their ships from scurvy. The French were dying from scurvy. We were just sitting blockading ports going, up yours, we'll win. And even French historians accept this. The better training, the better hygiene and the better nutrition of the British Navy was really important, but also that lemon juice. So why? Why was I saying at the beginning, Robert Falcon Scott, this explorer who was not totally incompetent, even though we now like to be a bit mean about him because he came second, why was he terrified and saying that lime juice doesn't work? Well, one reason is he was listening to what the science was saying. There had been a previous Arctic expedition where they went to the North Pole and the people with the sledge dogs were taking the lime juice and they got sick with scurvy. The people back on the boat drinking the lime juice got sick with scurvy, and the people who went to rescue them got sick with scurvy. And this was really embarrassing to the British Navy. And they did an investigation, and they came up saying there is no question of a doubt we have not in lime juice the true preventative of scurvy. And one of the key things that scuppered this was this thing that people noticed everything cures scurvy. The main thing was they ate the sledge dogs, so that the things that were meant to pull them home, just ate them, and they all got better. And this fitted much more with the idea of germs, which was doing really well in science. You know, germs make you ill, you sterilize, pasteurization, all these people were coming up. And that meant that science kind of dominated. The other thing is you'll notice they switched from lemons to limes. Now, that had a big impact. So lemons from Malta actually are really high in vitamin C. But the limes we all switched to were from the West Indian lime, which has less vitamin C. They also ran it through copper pipes, which got rid of the vitamin C. So they got this juice that didn't work as well, less vitamin C. Then they had steam shipping, so people just got scurvy less. So in total, you got this whole package of things. So people just didn't notice their cure didn't work. And germ theory was fantastic instead of magical lime juice theory, which was actually quite complicated when no one had actually yet invented nutritional deficiencies in any way. So this is all happening around about the turn of the century. Fortunately, everyone keeps trusting in germ theory. This idea of bacteria in the food, eventually they realize if it's not there, it's not there. You're not getting food poisoning, you're fine. And some other people start to get really into nutritional deficiencies and understand that vitamin C is a molecule in different foods in different amounts. And what we now know is vitamin C is basically in everything. It just needs to be fresh. And that's why if you eat pot noodles, you're going to get scurvy. And that's why sledge dogs cure it. And it's actually a much more complicated thing than just a magic food. The only last thing I'm going to say, as I just draw it to close out, is what's really amazing about this is we are one of the few species on this planet that can get scurvy because we have a genetic defect. So only by sheer luck did anyone ever find another animal that gets it, which is guinea pigs, which is why we experiment on them so much, because they also can't make vitamin C. So thank you for listening. I normally do that in 45 minutes. I did cut it down, but hopefully that was enjoyable and good fun.
Thank you very much, Andrew. There is so much good information in there and lots of info for us to play with. So I'm now going to set the scene for our players to come on, and you might want to turn your asset. So we're going to start with a scene, and we are in a non-specified location, but it's coastal. I hear rigging creaking, I hear planks creaking, and maybe a faint ship's bell. And into the scene come two weird characters.
You look like
Right.
a man ready for an adventure.
Are you love an adventure, me? I just went to Toro, then I got there and I turned around and I walked back again.
You can walk.
Well, yeah, I've got two legs.
Sorry, I can't take you with me.
What,
One too
why
many
not?
legs.
Too many. Hang on a second. Ah!
Oh,
Oh, wait, now.
perfect. You're in. You can call me Falcon.
Hello there, Falcon. You can call me Derek.
All right, Derek. Now I want to make this clear. I'm in this to win this. I've got to be the first.
Yeah, what you need, right? Yeah, you need dedication.
It's good advice. Dedication.
You're welcome.
win
You're
all
welcome.
things. So, do you have any seafaring experience?
I once got lost in the boats down in Helston.
You got yourself out. You're clearly a man of good intent and skillful maze.
I was there for 3 weeks.
Mm.
We now switch to a generic corporate boardroom where a team meeting is taking place and brainstorming is happening. A project is forming.
Okay, guys, I think we're going to circle back to that one. We're going to park it a little bit later and then just cram it in to that cookie jar. What are we thinking?
Yeah. Just one thing, like where does the death and disease and viruses all come into it? Yeah.
Okay, so basically, there's like a big death, and then the disease causes the death, and the disease is caused by a virus, and we just spread that around. And I'm thinking we spread it like money, corporate, ding, 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 just like that.
Yeah, but how do we make money out of this?
Well, you see, everyone's going to be obviously going, I'm ill. And so they're going to have a cure. And then that's when we go, hey, You fancy the cure? Well, we've got the cure. Want to pay us lots of money? Haha. So we give the virus and the cure.
I like it. I like it. I like it. It sounds right up my street. So what do you want from me? You want me to create the virus?
Well, I'm ballparking here. I'm kind of, shooting from the hip. If you can create the virus, Stevens, then we can get this ball rolling and get some ka-ching, and you can get that Porsche 911.
Yeah. So what are you hoping for? You want me to bring back scurvy or something like that?
Well, that could be an idea. Scurvy, maybe another sort of nautical disease, maybe like leg loss.
Leg loss?
Mm.
And now the action shifts to a small village convenience store where we have our checkout operator scrutinizing the basket contents of her next customer.
Oh, hello. How's it going today?
Hi there, Jerry. It's good. I'm really excited.
Oh, what's got your knickers in a twist then?
Well, I'm gonna see my son. I've not seen him for like 5 years.
Oh my God, I bet you're blessed.
I know. I'm so happy. So I went and got him some lime juice. I hear that's his favorite.
Oh, you're pushing the boat out, didn't you?
I am. I try.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know. So, he's not had any. He's been away. I don't know where. He said it was being very mysterious. So, I'm looking forward to hearing all of his stories.
Oh, you have to come back and tell me all about it.
I will, dear. I will.
Oh, I
What do
look
you think
forward
goes
to that.
with lime? What do you think goes with lime juice?
Tequila.
And now it's a venture capitalist meeting where our two entrepreneurs are trying to raise funds for their adventures.
Stevens. To get a bit of capital, we're probably going to have to do a fundraising trip where we can do a bit of ad work.
Yeah, totally up for it. Got a load of cash in the bank. I can throw it wherever you need it.
I'm thinking maybe we go on a little boat trip.
Boat trip, you say? Yeah.
Maybe you get a little cabin, cabin together. Just have a bit of fun with it. Really.
Yeah, get a little tight space and just enjoy ourselves. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, Stevens. Stevens, we've just had word that there's a ship full of gold just sitting out there in the water.
Full of gold, just sitting there.
A ship just full of galleons and gold.
We should probably go and get that ship. We should probably go on a journey to go to get that ship.
Well, I figure that's not too hard to do, and then you don't have to, spend your fortune. I'd rather you spent that on me, if you know what I mean.
Well, I'm going to leave this with you two because I think you've got some stuff to talk about.
Well, yes. Thank you, Stevens.
All right, Jenkins. So tell me, you know whereabouts and what sea are we talking about?
Well, wouldn't you like to know? Why didn't you call me?
Listen, you know why I didn't call you, Jenkins. No one else knows about it yet. No one else knows about it yet.
Oh, yes, but a phone call would have been rather nice, wouldn't it? I mean, just leaving me here all alone.
But running
a business from my secretary desk.
Jenkins, please, we've discussed this many occasions.
Meanwhile, in another part, by the ship, Derek is busily preparing for his journey when a mysterious man comes to join him.
Hello. Hello, my little friend here has something to tell you.
All right, I'm listening.
You need supplies for your trip.
I got a fishing rod and I've got a stick.
Well, what else does he need?
Supplies.
Pies?
I've got more supplies.
Oh, supplies. I thought you were trying to push
Oh.
those strange
you made me,
meat pies again.
you made me jump there.
Okay, well, let me go dig them out the back of the truck.
So what else do you think I need then to this adventure to the new land?
Well, you'll need some sort of lime or perhaps a lemon. So you're definitely going to need to plant one of these.
What's that then?
This is a lime tree.
Oh,
And if you leave them long enough, they become lemons.
is that how it works then? So they become yellow and then they turn a limey green color afterwards.
Yeah. Hopefully no one will get ill before they turn into lemons, because lemons was
Why would anyone get ill? We're only going off to the new land.
yeah, but on your way to that land, you're probably going to lose a few men. Perhaps women too, depends if you want women on your boat.
But why? We're all ridiculously healthy here.
What's wrong with your gums?
There's nothing wrong with my gums. They're all perfect. I mean, they're nice red, and I got these black spots on the back of my arms. Look.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What?
Well, look. No bloody limes. You not even not lemons, no limes, nothing. Mate, you're dead.
Am I? That's weird.
Later on, Derek goes on the hunt to find a lime tree. So obviously, he goes to a lime tree shop. Maybe he'll get a lime tree.
Afternoon, sir.
All right there. Can I get a lime tree, please?
Oh, have you had experience caring for lime trees before, sir?
Well, no, but I once went to Red Roof.
And what did you read her?
I can't read.
Oh well, this thing is, there's a big instruction book with a lime tree. You see, I can start you off with one of these.
Oh, what's that? I can't actually see because I ain't got my glasses on. Hang on.
It's a bodmin cabbage.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, and would that help me? Oh, thank you very much. Remarkably, it looks like my pair of my glasses. That's great. Thank you. And how much is that?
Well, now that you've touched it, you're going to have to buy it. It's £600.
Oh, 600 pounds? What do you think this is? 2020?
Yes, and this is a lime tree shop, and you've manhandled the goods.
Oh, maybe we could come to some kind of offer.
Well, what do you got in mind? Are you very good at hard labor?
I know, but I'm very good at seduction.
You know what? That's the first rule of growing lime trees is seduction and telling them stories. They like to be spoken to.
I'm quite good at my stories. I'm quite good at the old top shelf stories. I've had sex nearly 2.5 times.
Oh, no top shelf stories.
Meanwhile, back in our entrepreneurial office, Stevens and Secretary Jenkins are talking about their plans and what they're going to do on their adventure.
Yes. So, I mean, this is incredibly embarrassing to ask, Stevens. Would I be able to accompany you on your mission to find this ship?
Jenkins, yes, you can. But you're going to have to come in disguise.
Why? For what reason? I would just like to keep your cabin warm.
Because you know that people will start talking.
Oh, yes, people. I know which people you mean.
they see us together, rumors will fly.
Rumors will fly all over the place. Well, that sounds wonderful. In fact, I know someone with a ship. Maybe we can, take that ship and just go for it.
What? Just you and I alone?
Well, I mean, we might need a bit of a crew. I mean, I don't think you or I are capable of piloting a ship. I mean, I'm
Yes,
lost
right.
for words here. I don't even know the nautical terminology. I mean, what the bleep even is a sea anchor? Does anybody really know?
I don't know. I've never ridden.
I feel like we need somebody who knows what a sea anchor would be. At the very least.
I mean, yes. I mean, what even is an anchor? I don't know.
You've lost me there. You've absolutely lost me there, Stevens.
Well, I suggest we get a few men together, maybe one or two women. I don't know.
Yes.
Did someone say sea anchor? Not so fast. You obviously don't know what you're doing if you're talking about sea anchors.
Where did you come from?
I heard it on the wind.
Oh, sorry.
Goodness. Well, tell us more.
We'll come back to that. Meanwhile, in the ship, in the port, there is a galley. And in the galley, a chef is quickly preparing a meal. Who that chef is, we're going to find out. Maybe someone will join him while he is cooking up a storm. He has a song he likes to sing while prepping food.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I'm a lumberjack. Boom. And
All right there. Can we have a can we get a number one and a number two and hot, extra lime, please?
oh, extra lime. I like
Yes,
it.
please.
Yes, chow mein, but we don't have any chicken. Are you good with tofu?
Yeah, that'll be fine by me. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank
Very
you.
well.
Look,
Stir fry this away.
Chef Nando's, I'm worried about this journey.
Look, Derek, you have nothing to worry about. I have a pile of limes here, just sitting. You'll have no shortage of limes.
But don't tell the captain this, right? But I'm scared.
What are you scared about?
Conjunctivitis.
Yes, it's definitely a problem.
Halitosis.
Well,
And the scurvy.
scurvy. Scurvy can hit. We don't know what causes scurvy.
I've heard, right? It's the Kraken.
The Kraken. Have
The
you
Kraken
seen the
wa-
Kraken?
Oh God! Have I not told you about the time I was in Penzance?
No.
Let's
It
flash
was in-
back the time he was in Penzance.
Oh, this is nice.
Meanwhile, our entrepreneurial Stevens and his secretary, Jenkins, have gone to the port in disguise to find themselves a boat. They might have a few different disguises that they use throughout the scene because it might be fun.
Jenkins?
How am I doing?
Hey, it's you, Jenkins. I almost didn't recognize you.
Oh, good. Well, that's the plan. Gosh, I rather like being this manly man.
Yes, I almost don't fancy you anymore.
Oh, that's the nicest thing you've said to me in weeks.
Well, it has been rather a few weeks since we, well, you know.
I know. Anyway, no sign of the captain around. I think we're safe.
I don't see him.
Oh, we've been spotted. We've been
What?
spotted by that chef. Quickly, retreat. Retreat.
What?
Oh, God.
Hello?
Oh,
Are you lost, my dear souls? Can I help you somehow?
ooh.
Ooh. Hey.
You look very familiar somehow. I just can't
Oh.
quite place it.
We're here for the seafaring mission. We're crew.
Oh, you're on the ship. You're my shipmates, of course. Welcome aboard the crusade. I'm so happy to see you.
Aye.
Come along with me. Walk and let's get to know each other a bit.
Here.
Is this your first voyage? You seem a little bit, nervous.
Heard of me? My name's Captain Birdseye.
Oh,
Yes.
you're captain. I thought we already had a captain. I thought it was captain.
Just like to hang out with other captains or.
Oh, oral.
It's actually, we were invited to a captain convention aboard this ship.
Oh, you're captain as well.
Yes, Captain Kirk.
Later on, the ship is full and everyone is ready to go away. So obviously, our first mate, who's now Derek, is going to address the crew because our captain hasn't been seen yet. So Derek is in charge and he's going to tell us the ropes of what we should do and shouldn't do on a ship.
Right, guys. As you know, the captain is asleep because he gets night's terrors because of the Kraken stories. Right. Rule number 1. Yeah, thank you, Captain. Yeah. Is there a question?
Yeah. What does the Kraken look like?
Oh, it looks like. Have you ever woken up, right, with a headache so bad that you just want to rip your own eyeballs out?
Are you taking the piss?
Oh, no. I've done a course on this. Sorry. Have you ever had a headache so bad you wanted to rip out one eyeball out?
HR!
Oh, dry your eye, mate. Dry your eye. Right. Like, go away. As I always say, like, sit down, right? Okay. So, rule number 1. I'm second mate captain. No, calm down. Please hold your applause. No. It's okay. Calm down. Thank you. Rule number 2. No one gets a lime until I get a lime. Is that understood, everyone?
As rules go on, he gets more and more West Country / piratey voicey.
Right. So, rule number 3. You don't mention Fight Club. Rule number 4. You got it. What was that?
Oh.
Later on, it's dinner time on the ship for the first time. So obviously, we catch up with Captain Birdseye and Captain Kirk, the 2 new additions to our crew, and they chat about what they've been up to and what they're going to do next.
I see you've already stolen some lime trees.
Yeah.
Arr.
Can't be too careful, you know.
No, you okay, we can drop the accents. I don't think anyone's listening.
Well done, Jenkins.
Yeah. So, I think we ought to get this boat on the move, Captain. I'm sorry, Stevens. I'm getting used to calling you Captain now.
Just only call me that in the bedroom.
Oh, okay, as you wish, Captain. Sorry, bedroom only. Once the ship gets underway, I mean, do you have any kind of a plan? I mean, how the bloody hell are we going to find this boat?
Well, we use a special thing called radar. Have you heard it?
No, but that sounds much more impressive. I was going to use a clock, but
A
I
clock?
didn't know how to use it. I just heard on the grapevine clocks.
Do you mind if I join you?
Come on in.
I'm Captain Ned.
All right,
Oh.
Ned.
All right, there, Ned.
And you are?
Captains.
Oh, excuse me. It's so hot on this boat.
I'm Captain Birdseye.
Oh, I've heard of you.
Are you all right, Ned?
I'm afraid it's a bit hot and humid here, and I sunburnt my bald patch, and I'm trying to protect it, and not very effectively, because you see, I lost an arm, and in warfare, you see. Oh, I can't do this anymore.
Oh, you look like you might need another lime, Ned.
No. Perfectly good arm. Just eat a bit of arm, and
Wow, we leave the captains and their chat, and we go back into the galley where our lovely chef Nando's is washing up when a customer comes in complaining.
Oh,
Oi! Did you make this?
yes, I did, Captain Ned.
That's my brother.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Captain Ted.
Captain Ted, that's me. There's soup on my fly.
There's a soup on your fly. Oh,
No, there is soup on my fly. It was very hot, and it scalded me.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Maybe some bread to just wipe away the soup.
It's a bit late for that.
Did you eat the soup?
I'm afraid my back's a bit stiff. I couldn't do it myself. But that's not the point. You put too much in the plate, and this camber of this water is so rough, it just tipped into my lap.
Well, you're lucky, sir. I mean, sometimes with some of the other customers, I use vitriol.
What's going on here? Detective of Soup. Detective Nom Nom. I hear you've been selling some crappy soup.
Too much, it slipped into my lap, and I won't be able to walk again. Well,
I'm
easily.
so sorry. I know it was against regulations, but I just love soup.
I'm throwing the book at you.
I'll leave it to you, detective.
Meanwhile, on the bow or the deck of the ship, Derek is late at night. He's contemplating why and where he really is going. And maybe we might see that Kraken.
Oh, what am I doing here? I'm just a simple lad, right? I've just got quite a good knowledge of Cornwall and places like that.
And obviously, because he's on his own, and in every good thing, he sings some bits.
I'm all alone. I've once been to St. Austell. I've been to Red Room. And don't forget St. Ives. The Kraken. I can see the Kraken. All right there, Cracky. How's it going there? Look, I've said my prayers, and please don't eat me. I like you, and I enjoy your rum as well. Please, have you ever been to St. Ives? You haven't? May I suggest going there in August? It's amazing. Oh, you seem to have turned into Dr. fucking Doolittle for some reason. Hello there, horsey dog thing. How's it going? Have you ever been to Red Roof? No, you're just gonna stare me out like a scary dog. Okay. Stand up. Oh my God! What's that hairy man?
The following morning, after his traumatic experience with a kraken and a beast in the sea, whatever that was, we rise on another day, and we have Captain Birdseye, Captain Kirk, and Captain Ned or Ted are all having a captain off. Whatever you think that is.
Well, I'm glad we've all gathered here today.
Now, want a fair fight, everyone. This is the inaugural captain off of this journey, and it is your responsibilities as captains to do us proud, this ship, and to do your best. The winner of this captain off will be the captain for the next week. So, to begin our captain off, we know that every captain must be able to sing a good sea shanty. So, Captain Ted, I want you to go first. Give us a line of your favorite.
Captain Ted's my brother.
Captain Ned, I am so sorry. Captain Ned, your first line.
Oh, as I woke up one morning and the winds were fair away.
All right, our judges will score that and we'll get back to you. Captain Birdseye, let us have your line.
I like to see on the boat, and if I don't, then I'll just take a go.
Bravo, bravo. And finally, Captain Kirk.
Right, I wrote this for a very special person. I hope it does you proud. I went down to the sea to see if I could find myself a man. That's all I got so far, but it's pretty good.
That's all we needed. One line. That was the rule. And yes, we've tallied the score. And I think, Captain Kirk, you are the runaway winner. You have won today's Captain of. Well done.
I love you, Jenkins. I mean, Captain Kirk.
Later on, Derek, because he's always on his own sometimes, he goes up to the bearded man that he hasn't seen or spoken to in a while, but he knows he's been watching him, observing every move, and maybe he wants some life advice to see how he can help him.
All right there, bearded man. I know you've been watching me from afar, and are you hoping? All right there, Tasmanian devil, but I was hoping, right, you might give me some life advice. Look, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be on land. You know, only twice, but you know, I thought it was a mermaid, but it clearly wasn't, was it? All right, it might have been a male version, but there's nothing wrong with that. Well, yeah, all right. Don't take the mick out of my seduction skills. That's how he got the lime trees on the ship, anyway. So, how do you think I'd be able to get back on land? All right, I'm listening carefully.
Well,
Or you need to get some vinegar.
Yeah.
And then what? Or you need to do pretend I'm some fish and chips. And then they'll literally toss me off the side. Oh my gosh.
We now move to the captain's office, where Captain Kirk, newly installed as the supreme captain of the ship, has gathered around her trusted first, second, third, fourth, and fifth in command, and anyone else, to convey the important mission from the Admiralty to get Derek back on land.
Right.
Can
So,
I? No, sorry. Can I get my clothes on from the shower? Is that all right?
this is a very important meeting of the utmost urgency. We are all that is left. Us and Derek, and he's fading fast. I mean, the rest have all died of scurvy or lost limbs, or the Kraken's got him, or I'm sorry to say it, Chef Nando, but your cooking hasn't done us any favors.
You can't even speak. He's so shocked.
He's tongue-tied. He's
Oh, yeah.
absolutely tongue-tied, but he knows it's true.
Sorry, I'm late.
That's all right. It's
No.
all right. Actually, I'm very glad you're here. I was just wanting to make an announcement that we are actually switching up the menu this week. Chef, I can trust you with this. Is that right? I'm sorry. I know we had all hoped to sled across the new land onto which we fall on these beautiful sled dogs we had in holding, but due to the severe lack of any kind of nutrition in the limes, we are in fact gonna start serving up these lovely noble animals to serve our superior human needs. Yes, question.
Can we choose how we have them? Because I am a particular fan of Kentucky Fried Chicken, so I was hoping maybe we could try them.
Maybe
Absolutely.
some Kentucky
I mean,
Fried Monkey.
Absolutely. You can put in requests to the chef.
I think
Chicken.
we have some monkey down in the hold.
Oh, monkey won't do. Monkey, nothing good about monkeys. It's just got to be the sled dogs. I'm sorry. Rudy, I'm sorry.
I've got a question.
All right, go for it.
What about pot noodle?
Pot noodle.
Pot noodles.
I mean, it's easy to prepare and easy to hold, and it's very nutritional.
But then what would I do?
Make it
Well,
edible.
I thought we were saving the pot noodles for our
Pot noodle.
boarding, but in hindsight, that would be much simpler than the killing of several living animals that we kind of have all grown to know and love as comfort dogs.
Okay, I was being a bit obtuse. What I meant was put the dog in the pot noodle.
Yeah, that would be very good. Yeah, we could have pot noodle dog.
Great, that sounds delicious.
Yeah,
I'll leave it in your hands, Chef Nando. Make it happen. Yep.
Look at that.
I'll go get the dog trap.
But make sure you get some to Derek ASAP. I think he's fading fast. He's not going to make it much longer, and we got to keep him fit for when we land.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Oi, oi.
Thank goodness I didn't know about venison.
So anyone fancy the scrub?
I think it's time to see Derek see the culmination of Captain Kirk's plan and get him home again.
I mean, are you sort of saying, right? Yeah. I mean, it's actually quite a nice hot dog. Sorry, it had onions in mine. Yeah. All right, mate. Captain Chef Nando.
Yes,
Yeah,
we had
yeah.
a chat, and
Yep.
we have a real surprise for you. You know, I hope you really like it. But we managed to find. Wait for it. We managed to find a pot noodle.
Oh.
So you know, I made some for you, and I kind of, you know, we had a talk, and we said that, you know, pot noodles, you know, are travesty of food, and nobody likes them. But wait for it. It's got dog on it. It's got dog meat. I killed a dog.
You shouldn't be proud of that, right? Because really, dogs, right? They're like man's best friend, really. I mean.
I know, but I did it for you. You know, you look so unhappy, and I thought that you'd really like some.
I appreciate the gesture, and I shall eat it only because I'm starving, and it's
Here you
been
go.
such a long time. Thank you very much. Oh, have you got the little soy sauce packet bit with it as well?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Thank you very much. Ooh. And can I ask, what kind of dog is in this?
It was a Pekingese.
A Pekingese. Oh, Pekingese pot noodle. Oh, I think you might be onto something there. I don't know, really. I mean, we'd have a look.
It's fresh Pekingese.
Oh, yeah, it tastes kind of funny. It tastes like raindrops and roses and whiskers and kittens. I can taste cyanide. What? No.
We just
Chef
thought it was for
Nando.
the best.
Chef Nando, why would you do this?
I'm sorry, but
too brute.
you have
Your
to
peri
go.
peri chicken is very expensive and totally not worth the price, but I still go. I still go to your place. I hate you. I prefer PFC.
Oh my God, what have I done?
And as Derek slips to the floor, his life ebbing away, Captain Birdseye comes forward with a novel idea to eke out Derek's nutrients amongst the crew in a specially formulated process that will keep them at sea for another 6 months.
I have an idea. We're short on lemons and limes and pretty much everything to eat. So, as we got one dead man, we're gonna eat him.
Not Derek.
It's the only way.
Stevens, this is the most horrific suggestion you've ever put forward. I can't believe you right now.
Stop using my real name.
I'm sorry, I just can't take it any longer. You're thinking of eating a man. Why?
It's full of nutrition.
Can I make a suggestion?
Can't be any worse than eating Derek.
Derek was a valued member of our ship, and I really feel the loss for him. And while I feel that eating him would be a terrible injustice, we can't let these nutrients go to waste. Can we not give him a burial amongst our lime trees and our lemon trees, and then we can have Derek lemons instead?
Well, that's so...
I just don't see how it's going to bury.
I've got a grinder around the back. I can just grind it all up.
Okay, look, I could be convinced to eat Derek if we just maybe did something for him when we got back, like, I don't know, named a scientific cure after him, or, just give him some kind of memorial in history,
His memory will always live on.
What would Derek say?
And I think the last word is with Derek.
So, I've died, but they used my body for compost, and that created more limes and more lemons. And we found a new land. We did. We ended up in Mexico in the end, and that's why you end up putting the little lime inside the bottle of Corona, because my name is Derek Corona. Thank you, and good night. I love your face. It's beautiful.
And that is the end of our mystery story this evening, inspired by our guest speaker tonight, Andrew Holding from the University of York. Andrew, if you'd like to come on, just a quick bow. Thank you very much for your very informative talk. I hope we haven't mangled it too much.
It was perfect.
And we will send a note out after the show with how to contact Andrew if you want to know more about his research and his story. Quick goodbye from all of us. So, guys, come on and a quick parade of stars. We have Tess, Weiju, John, Nick, and Alex. I've been Dave. We do these shows periodically. The next one of these should be in a few weeks from now, but we have other activities coming up. Alex, would you like to tell us about Mad Monkey?
Yeah, so next Friday night, we were doing a Mad Monkey show on Facebook Live at 8 o'clock. So if you are there, join us for an evening of short form fun and games with the Mad Monkey Improv crew.
Okay, and thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We will be back and we will see you very soon. Bye.